Hi, JC here, and we got David, a longtime member of our membership site, and we had communicated a lot before I moved out to, I don't know, to the boonies. When I was at the beach, we had communicated a lot, and you were actually in the United States then, and just to get everybody up to speed, you had... Well, tell them about what you were doing when we were communicating. You were actually on the road.
We had, my wife and I, who is Thai, we had gotten caught up in the COVID shutdown and couldn't come over, so we decided we were going to buy an RV and travel around America. And I had tried this, you know, many years before, and it didn't work out very well. I swore I'd never buy another RV. But we went ahead and did it. This time I did it right. You know, I bought something that was a little bit newer so it wouldn't break down, and we headed off. We started in Florida, even though I'm originally from California. We started in Florida and came down the southern states back to California to pick up some of our stuff, and then up the coast to Washington, over to Maine, and back down to Florida. And we took about 11 months to do it.
11 months.
Yeah.
And so now, what's your opinion of traveling around like that?
It definitely. I met a lot of good people along the road. It was something that I don't think I could do full time anymore. I'm really glad I did it, but you know, my heart was always with the goal of being in Thailand.
And did you sell the RV before you came over here?
We sold the RV. The plan was always to get back to Florida and sell the RV and then take whatever time we had left keeping an eye on COVID and restrictions and all that stuff. I constantly was online looking at what's going on with all of the different restrictions over here, and so we ended up staying in Florida for about 7 months.
And I tried to report every week in the weekly update on the member site about the changes that were happening, and whether I thought that they would be moving forward or just hang in there because this could change. And yeah, there's a window of opportunity now. I keep telling people come over because the monkeypox fear is now ramping up, and so there's that window. And I said, if you're thinking about coming over, now would probably be a good time, especially with the exchange rate and stuff. So good time to get over. And so some of our other members I just got through talking to the other day, we were talking about camping, and I was shocked at the price of how much it costs to go to an RV park or a campground, just a campground now.
Yeah.
Shocking.
We kind of got it. We did a lot of footwork before we started, trying to figure out budgets and things like that. You know, there's lots of YouTubers out there that they live full time in their RVs and they do you know, budgeting and all that stuff. And we ended up probably on average about $40 or $50 a night.
Wow. And
you can go, sky's the limit. I mean, you can go to these RV parks that are $100+ a night.
Wow.
Just for a spot, you know, but they got a lot of amenities at some of these places. They're resorts without the, you know, the building. But we had a good time, and like I said, I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, I was sort of shocked when I heard what the prices were just to hang out for the night. And then I commented when they told me how much. I said, well, you could stay in a hotel for that. And they go, are you joking? Like a Hotel 6. I think last time I was on a Hotel 6 was when I was doing working with FEMA for the Katrina. And of course we were getting gouged for rooms because there was very few when we'd come into town, you know. Now I hear it's up to, you know, almost $100 a night for a room.
We stayed in Thai Town in LA a couple weeks before we flew over, and we were staying at a Motel 6, $110 a night, and it was a scary dive. I mean,
whoa.
I don't even want to go into the condition of this place and what was the bathrooms were disgusting. Oh,
that's shocking to me. And a couple of our great members up in Oregon, Rick and Linda, I'm always in communication with them, and they do listen to the weekly update and hear me talk about prices here. And one place I'd like to take you all next time you come is the place we did the weekly update from last week, and it was sort of what I would consider a high-end restaurant. And we eat this really great meal with a dessert and everything, and it ends up coming to about $14 US. And they sent me pictures like last night. Actually, some to Nat on Facebook, and they were showing me a music festival in Oregon where they just have like the food trucks come, and they showed me the menu from it was a Mexican food truck. It was like $14 or $15 for a burrito. And I asked, how do they do that? And they said, no, people don't care. The lines were 20 deep all day long. And it's like, I'm shocked. I mean, I really am. I haven't been home in so long since my parents passed, and I don't even understand how people are accomplishing this.
Well, we had lunch today, the four of us, and it was less than $10.
Yeah.
And it was good food.
Yeah.
Good food.
Yeah. And so the more I think about this and the way the world is, the direction it's gone, I can't understand why people aren't looking for alternatives. And so, speaking of alternatives, so you did your tour of the U.S. and sold your RV, and now how long have you been back here? Because I saw you, how long ago were you here last time?
3 months ago.
3 months ago.
And that was a trip that we came back. My wife is involved with a lot of different groups online for visa preparation and citizenship and stuff like that. Met a lot of really good people doing that, and it was one of her friends, her and her American husband were getting married here. So we decided we were going to do whatever it took to get back over here. So 3 months ago we went through 10 days of quarantine and all that, and so yeah, I mean, if it wouldn't have been for her getting married, I don't think we would have come back during that time. We would have waited till now, because this time across was a breeze when we came through the airport. Now, when we come through, one thing I've learned is that because I'm married to a Thai woman, we go through the Thai line, and I think that and anything else that comes up with coming back to Thailand this trip, I think they kind of looked past all that and they just were come on in.
And you were on visa exempt as well. So you didn't even have a visa, and I've always tried to inform people that if you're coming on a tourist visa, usually they won't ask for that onward ticket. But visa exempt, they might. And so you're an example of they didn't even ask for the visa exempt.
Didn't ask.
Interesting. Okay, so now you're here, and what's your plan?
Well, originally the plan was to come in and get the visa stuff taken care of and start cruising around Thailand. And that is still the plan, but we've run into a few hiccups during our visa process.
Your visa process,
yeah,
right? Not her visa process.
Her, she's local, so.
Yeah, but I mean, back home, that's a done deal, right?
Yeah.
So it's your turn.
It's my turn.
Yeah,
She came over 4 years ago, and we finally got her citizenship. And that was another reason why we were sticking around in America for so long. I was ready to come over 4 years ago, yeah, we've got that taken care of. She's a citizen. She's got a passport. Yeah, so it's my visa experience now.
And so you arrived visa exempt, and then you wanted to get a non-immigrant with a 1-year extension based on retirement.
Correct.
And we won't go into all the things that worked out, but all I can say regarding that, and I always offer this as a suggestion to members when they inquire about this, that what do they say? This expression, God's delays are not God's denials, and so that sort of holds true here. Buddha's delays are not Buddha's denials, but if you come into something that's a hindrance or a sort of a roadblock, in other words, the I's not dotted or a T's not crossed, the question I always tell people to pose, don't get angry, don't get upset, but just say, how can we fix this? And usually there's some flexibility in how that can be accomplished, and if you don't lose your cool, and there might be some way around it. And so you sort of encountered that, and it looks like you're on the road now to getting your non-immigrant visa with your 1-year extension based on retirement.
Yes.
And so, say that's all taken care of. What's your plan? I mean, how long are you going to stay? Where are you going to live? How are you going to live? Yeah.
You know, the idea was always to come over and just travel around and try to look for that spot that I end up and go, you know, I'm home. So that's what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. And, you know, however long it takes is however long it takes. And you know, I grew up on the West Coast of the United States in California, so I'm kind of leaning towards a beach area. So I spent a little bit of time down in Phuket and some of the islands, and I'd like to really go down and explore some of those areas more deeply. Mm-hmm.
So what, besides having a Thai wife, because I'm sure that's a influencing factor, are you retired?
I am retired, and I'm blessed that I was able to retire at 57, and you know, I went through some things with my parents and some of my friends that passed early that made me kind of look at life like, I'm going to go do it now. You know, I could stay in America and continue to work, but I don't want to live that lifestyle without the this is hard to explain, JC.
Yeah. You're trying to articulate a feeling.
Yeah. You know,
well, what is it about Thailand, though, that's attractive in comparison, the contrast? Maybe that's a better way to... Cost of living
is very attractive to me. I mean, I can live here, like we were just talking about before, about the cost of just going to a hotel, going out for a meal. You know, rent. We were paying, when my wife and I were living in California, we were paying for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. We were paying, I think it was about $1,900 a month.
Ooh, wow.
That was 2 years. In 2 years, it's gone up to 27.
How do people afford that?
I don't know.
I'm just shocked. Is everybody in debt or borrowing money to pay these things? I'm shocked. And I mentioned, I have another interview that we did with one of our other members, Peter from Canada. And I was talking about, we have this condominium that we don't really use in Cha'am, and it's equivalent, I think, about $40,000 we wanted to sell it for. And at $2,000 a month for rent, in a couple of years you got a condominium that's at the beach, across the street from the beach, paid for the rest of your life. I don't understand. I mean, I understand the uncertainties of maybe, especially in today's day and age of being anywhere, and the uncertainties of being in the West or being over here. So that's sort of, to me, a level playing field. There's uncertainties everywhere. No matter what system or government or whatever, there's a lot of things happening in the world. And so, but to not have a standard of living, we have another member in Portland who's single. And he's looking for some place to get to because it's just absurd. The costs and the lack of rights and privileges that he's lost over the last couple of years and stuff. His existence there is scary to me. I wouldn't be able to do it. The amount of drugs on the streets and just what he witnesses and shares with me is just crazy to me. I can't even picture it. And so... So the cost of living is a major contributing factor to
it is for me, there. And it has grown since COVID. It's in the inflation that's going on right now in America and all around the world. It is just more appealing to be right here. My wife and I were visiting some family up here. We're staying at a hotel. It's less than $20 a night, and it has beautiful lake. We had dinner on the lake. It's got a nice pool, a gym. It's got everything you need for I can't imagine that there isn't a place like that in all of America that you can stay even, you know, in a dump for less than $20 a night.
Skid Row somewhere. Maybe.
Yeah, you could buy a tent under. That's what I told my wife. I said we could stay here for $20 a night.
That's crazy. How about the other factors, the intangible things? You know, when we talk about the changes that have happened in the West, a lot of those things have to do with society as a whole. And of course, we've got inflation here. We've got changes. You know, social media is changing the country just like it is around the world. You know, that's influencing people's lives here and, you know, the social aspects. But what do you see that is a contributing factor to making you want to be here in that respect?
Well, one of the things that I really liked about Thailand is the culture. The closest thing I can equate it to is the Mexican culture. Growing up in California, being, you know, 30 minutes away from the border in Tijuana, I knew a lot of Hispanics, and they would talk about their families, and when they would get together, it wouldn't be, you know, just a couple of people. It'd be all the relationships, just like it is here. And the way the kids treat the elders, the respect, you know, that was very appealing to me. So, I mean, that's an intangible. You're right. I've seen changes in Thailand. I've been coming here for about 5 years now, and you know, the internet and the kids and the cell phones and the same stuff that's happening in America. So I mean, in that respect, it's sad, but it's, you know, that's life. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's interesting because what I mentioned about, you know, we talk about inflation and about the social aspects changing around the world. And if you compare, you know, people are saying, yeah, it's getting more expensive in Thailand. And yeah, I'll agree with that. It is. It's getting more expensive anywhere. You can't just print money endlessly and think there'll be no repercussions to that. But when you look at the base we started out at and where we are now compared to the base in America where we started out at and where we are now, even though we're witnessing inflation here and it's putting a real burden on some of the Thai people, especially the lower income, for foreigners here, that when we have a certain amount of discretionary income, I'm still not only able to live a good life for less money, but also be able to contribute to some of those people that are having issues, to be able to reach out. The other day, you know, somebody, you know, was stuck on a motorbike, you know, and it broke down, and I said, you know, let's go see how much it is to have this fixed. And they needed a fuel pump, they needed, the people said they needed a battery, and there was something else, a spark plug to get the thing running again. And so, go ahead, fix the thing, you know. And it ended up costing, I think, the equivalent of $50 to do all that, which was sort of expensive, and I think we sort of got ripped off by it, even though Nat did the negotiation and everything. They didn't even see me. So that was to a Thai person. I don't think they, you know, I think we could have got it done a lot cheaper, but still $50 to be able to get these people back on the road again, and because that motorbike is their transportation, their livelihood, everything.
Right.
And so to be able to do that for such a small amount of money, half the cost of a room for a night in Skid Row, you know, this still opens up opportunity to be able to, and you talk about that social aspect, that's how you become part of that social group, by showing that you care. And it's not hard to do that even without spending money. Just help somebody out, do something. And that's the part that I really appreciate here. And not only can you do it, but you're allowed to do it, which I'm referring to the social aspects in, say, the West, say America, where it's really hard to break the ice with some stranger because of the fear of people and strangers, you know, especially if they're not wearing a mask or something like that. You know? Now the division, it's like, you're not one of us.
Right.
And if you're not one of us, then we're not going to talk to you. And so that part of Thailand is still here. And I think under duress, it's even more important for us to not participate in that back in our home country, but also be able to help support people over here when it doesn't cost us that much money to do. And so that to me is really important. And so now moving on to your future plans, and you say you want to travel around till you find that spot. That spot, yeah, I can understand why that's important. What else is your plans to do while you're here besides travel? Or is that it? Just
that's it right
Thailand
now.
And
yeah, I figured once I find that spot, I'll set roots down and become an active, productive member of society. Right now I'm kind of in a permanent vacation mode. Have been with the RV and have been living this lifestyle for a while now, and I miss having a permanent spot. I think I shared with you about their family has some property up north, further north than you guys are, and talk about maybe putting a house on it, and I'm not quite ready there yet, but that's, if you ask me what my long-term goal is, it's once I find the spot is to settle in.
Now, what's going to happen? Do you have what's holding you back in the United States? I mean, do you have anchors that you drop there?
The anchors that I had there, the two biggest anchors were my parents. And they passed away. Mom passed away in 16 and Dad passed away in 18. And that whole experience was kind of disconcerting to me. I don't know if that's the right word, but it wasn't a very good experience. And then I've had a couple of friends pass that were my same age. So
that's scary, huh?
It's very scary. So I still have a couple of real close pals out there. They've told me, if they've given me their list, if I can find a spot that fits their needs, to call them and they'll be here.
Really?
They'll be moving out here real quick.
Do you have material possessions still there?
One of my pals has a couple of my things that I just can't seem to, it's their family stuff.
Would that come over here or stay there?
If I get into a permanent situation, I would bring it over. I do have quite a bit of stuff. Over the last 4 years, anytime I've come over, we've loaded, as much stuff as we can. What do they allow you? 2 50-pound bags per person. So we come over here with 2 50-pound bags, almost to the ounce.
49.9 pounds.
Yeah. So we brought a lot of stuff over, and it's at my wife's parents' house. The things that are left behind are a few heavy things that it would take a little bit of doing bringing them over. I'm hoping that my daughter, who is 22, when she finally finds that spot of her own and settles in, maybe she'll take some of that stuff. So
cool. Yeah, well, that's cool. And so your plan now is basically to hang out in Thailand?
Hang out in Thailand, enjoy life.
It was a one-way ticket.
It was a one-way ticket.
Wow. Well, thanks. I want to thank you for sitting down and talking about your story and why you think Thailand's a good place, but also for being a member of our little community. And hopefully it's helped you in your journey to make this a reality.
It has.
And you've been here now a couple times visiting, and hopefully we'll visit more, and one day hopefully visit your spot.
My spot.
Yeah. You were in contact with me when we were down at the beach looking for property and stuff down there, and the world threw us a little bit of a curveball, and we changed our plan.
Yeah.
But who knows what the future holds? And but again, I wanted to thank you for sitting down and sharing your story, and also being part of our little family.
Thank you.
All right. Hope it's helpful, the information, sharing the different thoughts and opinions of why Thailand is a good place. More life for less money, right? And if you haven't made a plan to come over, now would probably be a good time to do so with the exchange rate and other things happening on the horizon that might make it a little harder to come in the future. So get over here.
Get over here.
See ya. JC and David. Yeah, usually I say JC and Nat. JC and David out. See ya. Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.